Yeah, we up in here, we up in here, we up in here. Once again, in case you didn't know, it's time for that boom bap breakfast. And this is Black Power Media, and this is also the Remix Morning Show. I'd like to welcome you all. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Let me introduce you to your host today. You have no other than Kalaji Jama Changa, Dr. Jared. Burn it down, Kim Brown. And Kamal K.
What up?
Let that rock. I was gonna let that Franklin ride out.
I don't know why it should have.
Okay.
Are you watching TV in the background, Kalaji? What's going on with your TV in the background?
The Battle of Algiers in the background. I'm feeling like that kind of morning. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's what I'm talking about.
Feel like that kind of morning. Shout out to the Algerian Revolution. It's going down. Keep it funky right now. So I had to start my morning off good. You know what I mean? Just in case, lest we forget. What up?
Yeah, no doubt. I'm with you on that. I'm feeling that same energy. What's up, good people? What's up to the remixers? What's up, everybody? Good to see everyone. Hope everybody survived what is the remix weekend, making it to our Monday, Tuesday mornings.
It was hard out here for them, Jared. I don't think they was ready yet. I don't know.
I don't think I was ready yet. I'm not ready for the revolution right now.
Hey, man.
I'm past ready.
Algerian revolution. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Man, we gotta get it started.
Disney flicks. I look at a little Disney flicks.
Huh? I'm on my friends for now right now. You know what I mean? So, of course, this is the soundtrack to that. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Battle of Algiers.
Word. I'm just coming off a vacation when try to get a tan so I can get in the brown skin club. So
you failed.
Where are you vacationing at? Senegal? I mean, come on. Where's this vacation? It's got to be at the equator. It's got to be at the equator, Ear Doctor, because brown skin, you?
Yeah, I think he went to Alaska because he looks like paler than usual. I don't know.
Speaking of some dystopia, James is over there shouting me out for my T-shirt, and I know what he's really doing is trolling me, saying it don't look as good as when he got it on.
Yeah, I need him to relax that picture.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I see you, James. He messed us all up,
had a
man.
peel off, didn't he? He tried to outdo us and whatnot. You know what I mean?
I gotta try. He did not try.
James, that's me and James. We twins. We're like twins. Same build.
Like I said, not dystopia, but that's not the word I meant. But some break in the communication between reality and your interpretation. I got a close comrade that got a similar build, like one of them real gym rat, like got that quintessential physique that Kamal thinks he has. And when you walk into his house, he lets you know because he got a topless picture of him and his wife at the beach hugged up. So you just know walking in what it is. Like he just, and I know James got his icon photo set. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I know you walk into James's house, he got a selfie up like this.
But shout out to James. James, on the low, James did have the medium on. You know what I mean?
I'm not mad at it.
I thought it was a tattoo. I wasn't mad at him either. I ain't gonna hate on him.
Don't ever let me get in shape. You never see me with clothes on.
James needs to be y'all inspiration out here, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Y'all need to look at James's physical example and aspire to that.
I'm satisfied with my super freak physique, like Raphael Sadiq. Bow, we good. Don't worry about it.
Ladies like this, they don't like all that extra. You know what I mean?
Says who?
That's
the lady.
Son is lying.
I am a lady. Let me tell you.
Son is
you a lady.
Ladies tolerate, I think, a lot in terms of, we will settle. We will settle not for our preferences, our physical preferences, but when we see one, we will admire it. So shout out to James Thompson. James, you looking good out here, baby. Keep it up.
Let me go get my push-ups on.
What I'm saying, when I get through James's workout, I'm not even gonna have shirts, so I'm just gonna get a BPM tattoo and be just topless all day, just like
It sound like we're gonna get a song. We're gonna have to put a song together. Jockin' James T, Jockin' James T. That's what it sounds like y'all doing around here. You know what I'm saying?
I see him in there. He's trolling. That's why he said nice T-shirt.
Oh, that's why he got at you like that.
Yeah, that's why he's like, it don't look like it when I'm wearing it, but it's a nice T-shirt though.
Ooh,
James
shit.
got at him.
Shady.
Get him. Anyway,
them rats be shady, son. Anyway,
welcome to the Remix Morning Show. For folks who are listening, and y'all probably wonder who the hell is James in his T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? James is one of the remixes here at Black Power Media Remix Morning Show. If it's your first time tuning in, because we keep running into folks saying it's their first time, they love it. There's James right there. I don't know who put that up, man. Shout out.
Yes.
I don't know who put that up either. But,
probably Kim. Kim don't know how to work the board any other time.
Hey,
until it's time to exploit men.
That's my screensaver. That's my screensaver. Come on now. I said, look at James.
We said we were going to make a BPM calendar. It's just going to be 12 pictures of James.
That's what it's going to be.
James is the only one not scared out here. So yeah, I guess it is going to have to be James.
Listen,
the rest of y'all don't want to flex for the people. Which is fucked up. Let me just say that it's fucked up.
I mean, Kamal seems happy to flex. It's just
he does.
It's just not
okay. Look, Kamal, got check the nipple rings pointing out. You know what I'm saying? Sticking out hard right now. Shout out to Kamal.
Just scratching the back of my head. That's all. Just scratch.
Anyway, welcome to the Remix Morning Show. I don't know what the hell is going on. This is Black Power Media still. You know,
I know we're not. So on Wednesday, the LBS crew tomorrow, they're going to come through and talk about, because they're dropping a new segment that deals with this issue. And then on Friday, they're going to come back onto my show to deal with it even more. But that's what had me amped this morning, even better than my remix mug coffee, was finishing that article in Jacobin about how Afro-pessimism is akin to Zionism, equating ethno-nationalism and Black separatism. With Mayor Khalid. They dragged Mayor Khalid in there talking about Black nationalism. Afro-pessimism is leading Black people to that. I'm like, son.
What's going on with your peoples, man?
I'm over here. I got the nationalist mad at me for all my socialisms. I got these dudes over here making my socialisms look bad with this nonsense against my nationalisms. I'm like, man, we gotta. Whoa, I was out here hyped this morning reading that joint. Like, you got to be crazy. You got to be crazy.
I feel you how you say they getting at you, man, because you know, on the streets and whatnot, they like, man, you not got soft since you got on Black Power Media. One cat told me,
damn.
One cat told me,
like he used to be Hammer.
Yo, one cat told me he don't see me in the streets no more. I'm like, that's because you ain't deep enough in the streets, sucker. You know what I mean? He try to chump me. Try to play me like I'm just a talking head and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Say, all I see you all is in the YouTube streets, Kalonji. You ain't in these streets. I see you all over the internet.
No, we out here. We out here for real. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean?
That applies to you, Kalonji. I am guilty of that. I'm largely only in these YouTube streets at this point, so that would apply to me, and I don't mind getting that criticism if the criticism is coming from people in the streets who don't see me there. But oftentimes it's someone else sitting on their couch talking about you on your couch too, and I'm like, he's like, hold on.
That's how they do. That's how they do. I don't be seeing the ones that be talking that.
You ain't outside, and neither am I, motherfucker.
Yo, but shout out to all our people out there that's putting in that critical political work.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Shout out to my man F. Keith Slaughter out there, the middle of the hood. You know what I'm saying? Feeding folks on the daily, passing out, doing full boxes of groceries and whatnot, 4 days out the week. You know what I mean? And the type of pastor that pastors should be like, you know what I mean? In the middle of the hood, you know, so definitely shout out to folks like that. But we out here, man. We ain't worried about none of that nonsense. Yeah, this ain't it's that type of morning. Anyway, how y'all feeling, man?
No, I'm feeling good. I mean, like I said, I'm on 100 right now. I have to admit, I'm trying to stay calm. That I'm gonna read that article every morning and reduce my caffeine intake. Yeah, man.
Check it out. You reading that article, and I'm gonna keep Battle of Algiers on every morning. How about we just keep
perfect?
It like that?
I'm saying it's perfect.
We're gonna meet somewhere in the middle.
That's it. I
mean, word up.
Okay. But in all seriousness, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, go
ahead. By Judy Blume. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. It's a tween novel about coming of age. That's what I'm reading these days.
Are you reading? You're reading with her?
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What are you reading, Kim?
I love Judy Blume. Like definitely for your youngins come out. Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing and Super Fudge were my classics at that age. Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing is so good, and so is Super Fudge. I love Judy Blume.
Word.
I hope she wasn't racist, but I don't think she was.
Oh, damn.
Do y'all ever have that, like white people whose art that you like, and you're like, God damn, I hope they ain't racist.
Then you find out one thing or two things. You're like,
I got Pink Floyd albums on my wall, and I was scared. I had to like do some research. Like, I don't want to read one thing, to find out. God damn it. They turned out relatively to be, But like when I found out, for instance, I've never been like a Rush fan, although I appreciated Neil Peart's drumming.
Peart.
But when I found out Peart, I think I think you're right on that. Peart. When I read only like a couple years ago that a lot of their music was dedicated and a tribute to Ayn Rand, I was like, oh
no, don't tell me that.
That's what I said. I was like, what?
Wow. I never like Rush, Bobby Rush.
Thank you, Jared. You just
Rush
ruined Rush for me.
I know. I mean,
Neil Peart. First of all, Rush is Ontario's greatest prog rock band of all time, and then Neil Peart, up until he died, was the best drummer in rock alive. Jesus, you telling me these bands was Anne Ryan stands? Come on, Jared. You done fucked up Rush for me now. Now I gotta leave. I'm going back to bed. I
was like, I can't. And now and to the conversation we've been having all last week, like I can't.
Damn.
I can't,
Hey man, that's why if y'all stick to Black Power, you won't have those problems. You don't even have those problems. You ain't got to worry about.
But we do. No, but we do. That was the problem we were having last week. Go ahead, man. What you
look for us in the world?
Yeah, there it is. I hear you.
But
that's the other issue we were dealing with last week. That there are people within the Black, obviously political and musical world who produce these similar contradictions as well. And that's what the line we were trying to find. When white folks say my song is a tribute to Ayn Rand, then I have to leave.
Then you
so I know that's my line. That's my line. I just can't. It fucks up the whole thing. Like I can't. How can you even listen to the drum part when I'm like, he's thinking about her when he's knocking out that drum roll, that classic Tom Sawyer drum roll. So like it just but
stick to Tina Marie, man. Just stick to Tina Marie. Everything will be all right. Stick to Tina Marie. It's gonna be all right.
I got nationalist crew that say she can't even come to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? What? They only let me hang out for like half a rib.
Hey.
Tina was
you can't bring your mama.
Tina was handling the ribs on the grill at the cookout. Come on now.
Jared mom can't come to the cookout.
Like you can't bring your mama.
Hey Jay, we'll send her a plate. Just for you.
No, I'll take her a plate. Nah, that's my line. Like I get it. I'm not mad at you for not letting her in, but then I'm not coming either. Like if she can't, that is the line. That is. So we even used to talk about it. Like when the revolution happens, I'm struggling with the Black folks until they say your mother can't come in, and then and then once I help you get your freedom, me and my mother just sit outside. We won't go with them. We just sit outside.
I can't just some of the schools from the 70s and 80s, the Black schools, was when the white parents would bring their mulatto kids or their Black kids, and then they wanted to be involved in the school, right? So they're bringing their kids to the African-centered school or the Black-centered school, and they're not just dropping them off, but then they got curriculum ideas, or they got these ideas. They want to be on this board, they want to be on that board, and part of it becomes that controversy. It was like, well, you got to let them in because their kids go to the school, or so that was all like that was some of the stuff that like, post the sexy stuff in the 60s and 70s, when it was the institution building, that folks had like these different answers on that became part of like, angry struggles and stuff like that.
Look, my mother and I used to have some very like real conversations, and all respect to her for that, like she can't have them anymore, but we used to have some very real conversations about that. And it was always very clear. I was always very clear on this. Our relationship is separate from this political struggle. And I don't find it. I've never agreed with people who are so-called mixed or whatever. I've never agreed with this idea that that we should play a role in collapsing the communities and the struggles. So it was never. So I was always very clear. Like, I love you, but you can't come to this, and you can't participate in this. And even if that was at times made her uncomfortable, it is what it is, and we would just work through it. And I think, she would, ultimately. And I remember one time in particular that my half brother was speaking at the mosque, and then high, very visible member of the Nation of Islam, Jamil, might be in the audience, and I was going to go see him speak, and my mother said, I'd like to see him speak too, and I was like, I'll get you the tape. I was like, I'll get you. I was like, and even though he had reached out and said, of course, she would be welcome. It's mosque policy. Anyone's welcome. I was like, look, I know what the official policy might be, but I know what the reality is too. And I'm not going to be the one. And if I had seen other Black people with their white parents bringing their white family into Black spaces like that, I would have even been one to raise a question, with all due respect. Like, that's just not... This is not where we solve those issues.
I respect that, Jared, anyway. Because I respect the honesty and the fact that that you're clear, because I think that the thing is, we often compromise positions to make folks comfortable in whatever circle, and when we do that, it further damages the structure and the foundation of what it is we're looking to build. You know what I mean? Because a person's not invited doesn't mean that they're hated. It just means that when we have a meeting, a family meeting, that don't mean we invite Kim to the meeting. If she's not a part of the household, she doesn't have anything to do with the family business. You know what I'm saying? After we finish family business, we have some other things going on. Then come on down, Kim. We got, it's all good, but we have to take care of these internal contradictions and conflicts without outside influence, because the outside influence helped us to get where we are today.
How come I'm not part of the family?
That's why you need an example.
I take umbrage.
I came in, Kim, it's like, wait,
you part of the family, Kim. Huh? Kim. I was gonna say Jackie, but I ain't want no smoke from Jackie. Kim part of the family. See, oh Lord,
Jackie rolling up the sleeves.
Jackie, bring me back in. Bring me back into the family.
There they go. That low center of gravity. Look,
here we go.
Let's pick this up.
Thanks, fellas.
After we get back to the leader of the family, who looks like he is in a place of leadership.
Toby,
doctor.
I'm right here in Atlanta, baby. It's time for that weather report.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah. What's up, Jackie?
Oh wow.
Do that again. Nice. I don't know if Jackie got her proper. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it was right.
That was
right, what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna go ahead and get to the weather report right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
We haven't had a weather report in a minute. The weather report.
Black Power Media, the Remix Morning Show.
Good, everybody. What's good, everybody? Welcome out once again to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Y'all tune in to Black Power Media. Make sure y'all hit that like button at the bottom. We need that. We are 186 viewers right now. We should have 185 likes. Now we should have 186. All right. Now what we can also do is subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell, and you'll know all the dope things coming here. And hit that Patreon.com. Drop some change on Black Power Media. All right, let's go ahead and get to the weather report right now. It was a beautiful weekend, sunny, hot, everything here in the A. But let's take it to Birmingham, Alabama for today. We got a high today of 86 degrees. Big up to Beham. Next, let's take it to Newark, New Jersey. The Bricks, they got a high today of 80 degrees. 80 degrees in Newark. Next, let's take it to Tuba City, Arizona. It's hot over there. It's about 94 degrees. 94 degrees. Now let's take it down to the island, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. Big up to all my islanders out there. They got a high today of 86 degrees. Now let's take it over to the motherland, no other land. We're going to take it to Botswana. The Republic of Botswana, they got a high today of 68 degrees. It's not too hot over there. Next, let's take it to Varberg, Sweden. That's right, Varberg, Sweden. They got a high today of 65 degrees. Now, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cold. And I tell you what else is kind of cold. Ray J vocal cords at this verses, they was kind of cold. Take a listen.
Be a superstar, wish to have a fancy car, wish to have $1 million bucks. Well, I wish I don't be in love. Don't feel me, pretty baby. I make one wish and I wish it all on you. Making love to the break of dawn, me and you to the baby's born, till my baby's born.
Lord of mercy. Please stop that. Woo, Lord of mercy. Please stop. Man, speaking of, BT Awards had their awards, and it was a lot of bad singing there. I mean, these R&B artists need to get their act together, man. If you're going to sing, sing. I'm talking about Jodeci. Mary ain't sound the best. Now we got these. Oh, my goodness. Get y'all singing things together. That's right. Throw in the damn towel. Please. But anyway, that's what it is for your weather report. Let's get back to the Remix Morning Show. All right.
Wow.
I'm gonna give him half a credit for trying to sing on stage with a toddler in his arm. I said half a credit. Half a credit.
That's probably why he brought the toddler
that's too
on.
much.
He's looking for sympathy.
No credit. No
that
credit
was a sympathy, the half a point sympathy point that he was.
Don't blame the babies, Jackie. That child did not impede the singing at all.
Let me help y'all with this. That shit was garbage, pure garbage.
I mean, it sounded like Bobby Brown. Sounded like Bobby Brown in 2008, dog. Like,
like Charlie Brown in '88.
That's the sonic equivalent to that Jacobin article I was talking about earlier.
I'm surprised that child stayed asleep, or what? Maybe I don't like. How did that kid not be like, "Daddy, what is going on? What is you doing?"
He's burying his ears in his neck.
Right.
So didn't have to hear
no,
anymore.
the child was embarrassed. It was,
if I close my eyes, maybe if I close my eyes, nobody will see me. That shit was crazy.
You see how longevity and talent, you know what I'm saying, how they play a role. Like I hate for the millennials that they had to see two of their favorite artists of the yesteryear go out very sad, but they weren't very talented to begin with. And this whole industry is all manufactured. It's about what's hot, not what's quality. And this is what you get. 15 years later, you get these young men can't barely put together a note, can't even hit a note.
That's what
they write a note.
Hey,
they auto-tuned.
Hey, Kim, not only that,
said, don't cry. That's just facts.
Not only that, is these rappers can't even remember their rhymes. They can't even rhyme without having their lyrics underneath. I mean, Little Kim came out and forgot a whole verse and got into the second verse. I'm like, what's going on with these artists?
I'm not gonna criticize that, because I cannot remember the 3-4 lines of script I have to say on this show every day, or by any means necessary every day. I have to have it in front of me. I will forget something. I completely understand that. I don't understand that, Jackie, I'm not going to take people's points away from that.
Because Little Kim probably got paid $30,000 to sing them 2 songs. Girl, you supposed to know the lyrics to them 2 songs. That's it.
Go practice.
Look,
practice.
What do my children say every day? You had one job.
Well, that's okay. That's true. I do.
But I got to say, BT's audio and all that stuff was not the best. Microphones wasn't the best. I'm like, come on, y'all got all this money, get together.
No, but how is BET's audio not the best? How?
Because it's trifling. I mean, and I've never watched the BET Awards just because on principle, it's the Viacom Awards. As far as I'm concerned, ain't nothing black about
Yeah,
it, except for the
true.
aesthetics. So the BET is something I do not support as an institution, as a media outlet for maybe decades now. So I'm not surprised that they went out a little sad and went a little bit off, off key, so to speak. But shout out to Jasmine Sullivan, though. I did see that Jasmine Sullivan got her flowers, and I appreciate that because Jasmine can really sing.
You can sign.
Yes.
Yeah, she
can sing. Yes.
Well, that's it for the day. I'll catch you on next break. Peace.
Yeah, thank you, Ear Doctor.
Thank you, Ear Doctor. Thank you, Ear Doctor.
That poor baby. I'm so sorry.
Do y'all even know? Can we even have the B2K conversation here? I don't think we can. That's okay.
The what?
All right. So that was Omarion versus Ray J on the verses. Omarion was a former member of B2K. You guys remember B2K? Your nieces and nephews probably liked him about 20 years ago. Little boy band. And one of the members got online, talked about it was either Lil Fizz or J Boog, and going on about how Omarion wasn't really that girl. Anyway, but y'all don't want it. We can't have this conversation with y'all. That's okay. We have to have it. We have to have it another time. But yeah,
completely clueless.
I'm afraid
as to who
I
these
can't
people
help
are.
with that. If you want to make it a monologue, I'm happy to listen.
I don't actually, because B2K was a little too young for me, but I remember when B2K was very popular. So you guys remember? Never mind.
I'm sorry. My B2K references the serial killer from the 70s and the 80s.
That is actually the first thing I keep thinking of whenever I hear people say that. I keep
BTK, Jackie.
Right. That's right. It's not.
See, this is how my brain works. This is why I need my script in front of me every day.
That was exactly what I thought just now.
My brain I know what I'm supposed to say, but my brain transmogrifies words, and some wild stuff comes out, and we don't want that happening.
We went from Ray J to mass murder.
I was like, wait a minute, why are we talking about serial?
I'm all the way confused.
All the way confused.
But what I'm not confused about is that
we do have a map to slap. So we should
Ray J's murderous voice.
Oh God.
Monopolize violence like the state over us over that map.
Yeah.
How about that? Right on. Welcome back to the Remix Morning Show at Black Power Media. Time to get into some news. Okay. And who want to get the ball rolling? Puns intended and all those good things.
Roll them balls. Roll them balls.
Did you anyway, if anybody want to get something started,
let's talk about Giuliani not getting assaulted.
Well, I was gonna say, like it was the biggest misreported headline. I saw the thing, it was clickbaiting me. I was like, they got me. It said Giuliani smacked. And I was like, what?
You got me because I saw it from you. I'm like, damn. I'm like, man, I thought he got smacked for real. I was all happy and shit. I'm like, okay, somebody about
he got Will Smith.
Man, somebody about to get the BPM smack.
No, it wasn't a Will Smith smack. It was this foolishness right here.
These punk ass conservatives, boy.
Exactly.
Who they call us snowflakes? They call everybody snowflakes.
On the back, this incident was caught on camera.
That's all it was.
Look at her rubbing him down like he got.
I was trying to find out where the slap came.
Right. I was like, when does it happen?
When I first saw it, I was like, okay, she pats him. Is it going to come up after she pats him? What's going on?
No, I'm serious. This is it. This is all there is to it.
Yo, so basically, dude was black. He tried to pat him on the back, and they like, oh, you're a nigger. You assaulted me. So that's
and
what the hell
actually,
happened right
the story is that the employee who they have now fired. Because Giuliani has filed charges against him for assault. Walked by, called him a scumbag, and tapped him on the back, hey, scumbag, and then went on about his business. And Giuliani being, the greasy white supremacist pig that he is, and all of his white supremacist pig friends all just like, oh, he was assaulted. He's a frail old man. And I think the charge is actually like assault on an elderly person.
Yeah.
What?
Man, if you're gonna catch a charge like that, you might as well go ahead and go all the way
Knock
out.
his ass out.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
I think the safer thing is to get an of-age woman who looks young to just approach Giuliani, claiming to be a 15-year-old reporter, and invite him to her room. I think that is clearly the best way to get him. No need to get yourself all caught up with a charge.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's
Yeah, that was
I would think, you know, the worst part for me though is to think that the person wasn't intending. I mean, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I'm about to commit an act that I might get locked up for. It was, I'm just, you know, it's like, what's up, chump?
Right.
And
but you know what though?
His attention. That was just about getting his attention.
Right.
To be like, boom.
What's up, chump? Or whatever he said, or whatever.
It wasn't about. It wasn't an attempted. I'm gonna hit you in the head with something.
I mean, dude was black though, right? He was black.
From what I could tell,
I didn't know that until just now.
Yeah.
I knew goddamn well he ain't supposed to be touching no crusty ass cracker. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he got what he deserved, man. Come on, dude. If you gonna be a monkey, be a gorilla. He should have put that motherfucker in a cobra clutch, came down with a flying elbow,
him across the aisle,
fist him. Then we'd have been raising bail money for him, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or lighting candles.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I just feel like, of course, you know, the grocery store immediately fired the dude, which, you know, capitalists gonna be capitalist pigs, side with the pigs.
Boycott the grocery store.
I did the grocery store. Why is it still standing? I don't understand.
In Staten Island. Where is this grocery store located, Jackie? Is it Staten Island? Do I have it correct?
I think it is Staten Island. Which, you know, okay, I can understand why folks, you know, have a little cautious on Staten Island being what Staten Island is. But yeah, I'm always disturbed when people are not disturbed by this kind of thing. Like Giuliani's house is not off limits to be protested. Neither is Barack Obama's, by the way. Since we're talking about
neither are the Supreme Court justices that they just authorized an additional $10 billion in security, despite the fact that the Supreme Court themselves ruled that people's houses are well in play to be protested outside of. So that's really cute of them.
I
really
mean,
cute.
you know, all that. But
yeah,
Rudy Giuliani.
Don't get mad at SCOTUS. They did just step up security for the unborn. So they are clearly concerned for everybody's safety and security. So from the womb to Giuliani's age, from before the beginning to the very end, this SCOTUS is all concerned about our safety.
That is, unless you're a woman with a dangerous high-risk pregnancy, then I guess you just gotta take one for the team. You gotta sacrifice yourself for the economy. You know what I'm saying? Like
pretty soon, if you're a woman and your husband says that that he doesn't want you on birth control, the Supreme Court's gonna make it. That's the Griswold decision that Clarence Thomas has said that he wants to revisit, along with recognizing gay marriage, all that. So everybody who thought that Roe versus Wade being overturned had nothing to do with them because they're opposed to abortion, because they don't want to get an abortion, because they're not a woman, all that.
Clarence Thomas is a perfect example of what I was just talking about. You can't be bringing your loved one's politics into everybody's business. That's just not always appropriate. That's the whole
about loved ones.
His wife's politics. He's bringing his wife's politics.
Those are his politics, Jared. Those are also his.
No, I don't. No, I actually think my point
his wife look like she wear them.
These are white conservative politics being imposed and spoken through a black face, which is his whole career.
But he's a white conservative. He convinced her parents that he's not like those other Negroes, and he was such a nice man and so good to their Jenny that they forgot that he was black. That's what
I know. Can you imagine that? Who's coming to dinner moment when they're like, "Who's this Negro?" and he's out whiting them. He's
Hold up, Jackie. Now you going back and retroactively
let no Negro date my daughter.
Jackie's retroactively ruining my De La Soul, Jennifer O'Jenny. Stop it.
Sorry. I'm
Stop
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry.
Leave
I
De
don't
La
know,
out
but
of it.
we have a lot of people to thank for Clarence Thomas, because the NAACP, when Clarence Thomas was in the midst of his confirmation hearings, were jockeying on his behalf, making calls to senators, trying to make sure that he got confirmed. We know that Joe Biden was running that Senate Judiciary Committee and was running Anita Hill through the ringer. And here we go. Thank you, Joe Biden, for Clarence Thomas. We appreciate that, you son
And
bitch.
if I'm not mistaken, Maya Angelou did a famous New York Times
nobody
editorial
wants to admit that.
Where she was like, "Give him a chance." Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she
That
did.
was
Yes,
a
she
Dyson
did.
argument in
Wonder where
defense
she
of
get out the
Obama.
deal.
Yeah, you know about she. I mean, in terms of how you taking politics out of race, she was like his experiences as a black man growing up, his age, the things that he went through has to. She was self-assured that at some point it has to show itself and make him conflicted about what he presents as his conservative politics, and somehow transform him into somebody who's going to care about black folks, particularly poor black folks, whatever.
Look, Kamal, in all fairness to Maya Angelou, have you ever gotten $30,000 for 1 hour work?
Never that.
So
I only get
$3
for 1 hour's work. So
hey, don't answer that question.
Don't know her struggle,
because you're gonna incriminate yourself.
You don't know her struggle. That was her check when she came to. When I was an undergrad, she came to Frostburg. She got $30,000 for 1 hour.
From Frostburg,
she ended, for Frostburg State, and she did exactly 1 hour, and she said, "I'm signing exactly 3 books, and they have to be already opened to the page you want signed." She was, and she said she was leaving immediately because there's no 5-star hotel in Frostburg, so she was in and out. But my point would be, like, seriously, like, in all seriousness, I can only imagine the difficulty in seeing your name next to that many zeros, and as you start to plan your next, statement, and I think it has an effect.
I think she later, I guess it does. I might be wrong, but I think she later, was like, "My bad, I was wrong." Many years later, I think, but yeah.
I mean, that's what everybody said after Obama got elected, after the bombs are dropped, after the bodies are laid out, and it's like, but listen to me now. But I was wrong then. But now listen to me again, because
and these are the same people that went from Clinton to Obama to now Biden, and folks are still listening to him as if as if you haven't been wrong the first several times. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we should know by now, but whatever.
I got a graph that I think is gonna. I'll bring up this morning. I have a graph that I think explains in economic terms that voting logic as well. So I think there's a nice parallel here. But Kim, I think you got something ready for us, and I got you all set. If that is the case.
And I'm hoping our international correspondent Jacqueline Lukman can help to bring some context to this that we are about to see. But these are scenes coming out of Ecuador. Ecuador, I believe, is now in day 16 of their national strike, and this tweet is from Dennis Rocatuk.
Yep. And
it says that there is a massive march. This was yesterday in Quito, organized by CONAIE, CONAIE, Ecuador, and they're rejecting the government's offer of Guillermo Lasso of reducing the price of fuel by only 10 cents and demanding compliance with the 10 popular demands. So I think we have some, look at the people them come through Ecuador. So this general strike.
Love to see it. Love it.
So obviously the national strike not getting any national news here in the US, Jackie, but I know that you probably have some context that you can add to this for us. So, ¿qué pasa en Ecuador?
So, this is another example of people in the global South rising up against right-wing neoliberal governments and policies that impose austerity on them, keep them poor, and they're tired of it. So, first of all, the organization that organized the strike, CONE, is the Confederation of Indigenous Nationalities of Ecuador. And they are very serious about ending Guillermo Lasso's entire government. But in the meantime, they want him to end this the raise in fuel prices that he imposed. Lasso, under pressure just a couple of days ago, I think it was Sunday, finally said, okay, I'm going to cut gas and diesel prices to 10 cents, by 10 cents per gallon. But, they were like, yeah, no, that's not enough. And they're also protesting to address the poverty that millions of indigenous people are facing and have been enduring under Lasso's right-wing neoliberal government. So they want more investment in healthcare, education, employment, housing, all of that kind of stuff. Lasso is saying that, they're planning to lay the groundwork for a coup. But see, no foreign government is backing the indigenous people in Ecuador. So they're not they're not attempting to foment a coup. They are doing exactly what they have a right to do in protesting their government and demanding that their government do what they want, take care of the people. Now, I can't tell you about the political situation in Ecuador among the indigenous people and possible political parties that could run against Lasso. I'm sure there are. I just haven't looked into that enough to tell you that. But I know that there is also serious political activism alongside the protests. So, I mean, again, like whenever I see people around the world immediately rise up against their government when things get too hot for them, when things are difficult, when they can't afford fuel, when they can't feed their families, when they are suffering under austerity policies, I look at us in this country and I'm like, what the entire hell? Like these are people who literally are coming from peasant communities in the mountains, just walking from mountain communities to show up and pressure the Lasso government to ease up off that money and redistribute it to the people like it should be. And it just bothers me that we're not there yet. But I also understand that we have been subjected to a level and a sophistication of what's the word I'm looking for? Indoctrination, that I think other people around the world have not, because see, they're clear about imperialism and neoliberalism, and austerity policies and that kind of thing. And I think that we are intentionally made unaware of those things. Those are things that don't happen here. They don't affect us, but they absolutely do. But when I see these kinds of protests and I see these people, indigenous people, these are peasant farmers. They don't have, big money corporations backing them. They have a very strong solidarity organization among several different indigenous tribes of people. And they are coming together to change the Ecuadorian system, where it is no longer a system that imposes austerity measures. They want to break the neoliberal policies. And ultimately, yes, they do want Lasso to be gone, but not via a coup. They want him to be pushed out in a democratic election.
What is this? First of all, I'm having a fantasy here about what a 16-day general strike would look like in the U.S. But I'm curious, do we know what the effects of this general strike has had so far on Ecuador's economy and, I guess, everyday business?
So, from what I can tell, the capital city is basically gridlocked. Nothing is moving. Roads are blocked. apparently, I think Ecuador has oil reserves, which
They
is
have what,
why
dearest? Say that again. They have what?
the Ecuador has oil reserves.
Oil reserves.
And ain't nobody getting no oil because so commerce basically and trade has as far as I can tell has basically stopped. I think it is. I'm looking up now, and I thought I read this correctly. This was from this article in Reuters is from yesterday. So they're projecting that Ecuador, if the protests continue, will stop pumping oil within 24 hours because all the workers are in the streets. Wow. Because there just are not enough people still at the refineries and whatnot to actually do the work. So because the people are in the streets doing the work. So I mean they're shutting Ecuador down, and I think that this is going to be a tipping point for the Lasso government.
Strength and power to the people of Ecuador and all liberation fronts around the planet that are brave enough and disciplined enough to carry out such actions. Because I think that to Kim's point, Kim asked what would a 16-day strike look like here in the U.S. I think the thing is there's so much confusion amongst the masses, and there's so much separation of movements and fights. You know, we have all these different pockets. You have folks over here fighting for animal rights. You have folks over here fighting for the environment. You have folks over here fighting for women's liberation. You have folks over here fighting for just all types of different fights and all different types of fronts. And we get caught up and confused, and we begin arguing about, you know, how are we going to carry out this fight against imperialism, instead of looking at it as one big monster that we must come together collectively to crush. If we actually looked at it from that particular standpoint, you know, a 16-day strike would be easy. You know what I'm saying? It would be a win. But unfortunately, you know, we have all these cult of personalities, we have all these different ideologies and so on and so forth. And it ends up being, you know, us running around in circles.
Yeah. No, definitely appreciate being kept up of that and being inspired by it. And I think one of the key differences, Jackie, you touched on it, is definitely the psychological warfare we suffer here, which fills in some of those gaps, keeps us in line here. We have a couple minutes left before our next break. Is there anybody else got a story they want us to get to in that relatively short time?
I got one.
Sure.
That I don't think we spoke about here yet, but I think we might have alluded to in some other places. But if folks talking about the fight around abortion, what's made the headlines, but it's particularly interesting in comparison to some of the stuff that Jackie was talking about and Kim was talking about, is Jane's Revenge. Abortion rights group vows night of rage over Roe. And apparently this particular group, which derives its name out of a collective, I think, called Jane's Collective, that pre-Roe v. Wade helped women get safe abortions. And this particular collective called Jane's Revenge is being described as a militant pro-abortion group, as being credited with some militant actions at some anti-abortion sites, and has said that it will embark on different actions post the decision of the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade. And those actions are across the board in terms of what the possibilities are in terms of militant actions. And so that we have not seen from, let's say, the pro-women's rights side around healthcare or people's rights, is to say that we're not going to just fight in terms of getting the Democrats elected or we're just not going to just protest and come and go when told, that we are going to do take some other actions that may not be particularly legal, but we're going to take them anyway. And so this is folks who are either already were or getting more militant and politicized because of this ruling. So I wanted to get reactions on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this, just let folks know who are not aware in the Remix audience, that this is the latest episode in Kamal Don't Watch Jared's show. So I just want to encourage folks
on Jared's show. Does it mean because
one,
there's a whole episode.
I do encourage people to check out. There's a whole I did a whole segment on it, and it got, relative to me, it got a lot of views, which are mostly hate views. So this is where the Remix comes into it, because what I shared on the Remix the other day was that so it's just Kamal has a complete blanket on Jared's contributions, because what I said on the show the other day was that I read some of the comments I was getting on Instagram in response to that segment, where people were like all these white folks literally tagging the FBI and saying, go get them, and you're an idiot, and you know, how long have you been in, whatever, all these other kinds. So I think most of those views are just hate views, but I do love what they said, and what they, that again, not encouraging violence, but I appreciate the response, at least that was sloganized, that if abortions aren't safe, then you aren't either. Mm-hmm. And this whole idea that there can't be this monopoly on violence. So it's again, it's not advocating violence. It's saying, let's put it all in its proper context and remind people of certain traditions of responses that I think are perfectly legitimate to at least be considered. Petty Officer Ball, go ahead.
But that's not, I don't look at that as violence. It's self-defense. I mean, because what the system is doing, what the Supreme Court justices are doing, if they did not think that if they didn't know that what they were doing was violent, they wouldn't have called for extra security. They knew what they were doing. They understood that they are attacking people's literal personhood, our ability to decide what we can and cannot do with our own bodies. They're clear on what they're doing, and they know that what they're doing is violent. So I look at these responses as self-defense. My only criticism, it's maybe it was actually not a small one, but my only criticism is that we can't have these. We shouldn't be organizing like this in silos. It shouldn't be, just the women's rights movement. We have to connect these issues to everything else. Reproductive justice it can't be just abortion. It has to be reproductive justice, which covers the gamut of everything from health care to the child tax credit that was snatched away, to affordable housing, to
baby formula on the fucking shelf.
To paid family leave, to vacation leave, to a living wage, to a clean environment, all of that. I mean, I think that we are at the point where we have to stop mobilizing around one issue. This is, our struggle has never been a one issue struggle. So, I mean, all of these things have to be connected. And this is the only way that a general strike is ever going to happen in this country. And I'm not so sure that it is going to happen before the actual collapse and revolution does.
Wow.
Which, to make happen, we got to get outside, like our brother Ear Doctor is apparently, and catch up with him. Again? He is the vanguard of the revolution, the Ear Doctor.
In the words of Beyonce, we outside.
Oh, bye.
Jackie, don't leave.
Lord have mercy.
Yo.
Jackie said, "I'm going back in the house." If you outside with Beyonce, I'm going back in the house.
Hey, I'm with you, Jackie. I'm coming with you.
Hey, real quick, we reached our mark of 275 for the mix today, but what happened is I just started doing my summer camp, and I won't be around at the end of the show.
Wow!
Listen,
Scam.
Scam. Out the stacks. Yeah, that sounds
the numbers already dropping. Everybody's like,
wow.
Well, then I'm out. Then I'm out.
Thank you, dear doctor.
You're not supposed to say that till the end.
I hit y'all with something tomorrow. But yeah, I'm teaching podcasting, film, and chess, and how to code and make chess games and boards and stuff like that. So
beautiful.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So forgive me for that, but we'll be back tomorrow. But right now, let's get to some hip hop news right here on Black Power Media on the Remix Morning Show.
Let's go.
The Remix Morning Show. It's the ear doctor.
Yeah. What's good, everybody? Welcome out once again. Let's talk about a little bit of hip hop news that's coming down. Pretty much, let's start off with this youngster right here. He goes by the name of Spot'em Got 'Em. That's right. He's a Miami, Florida rapper. And pretty much this dude is he's running from, it's like Miami Vice for real. This dude is running from cops on ski jets, getting away, getting pursued by cops on ski jets. This dude is he had an AK on him. He had a little bit of drugs on him. And he was like, listen, the cops ain't gonna get me today. So yeah, he just got nabbed up by the cops on the ski jet. So Spot'em Got 'Em. Another brother in jail. Now let's get to some other news. We talked about this rapper, Little Tay, the other day. Reports are coming out saying that he might be paralyzed from the gunshots. So it's a lot of gun shooting going on. Another hip hop head, which we know a brother here in Atlanta goes by Shaka Zulu, just got shot. You might know him as being a manager for Ludacris, also the CEO of Disturbing the Peace Records. Him and three other brothers outside of a nightclub Sunday night got shot. His brother is in critical condition right now, but the reports coming out that he's stable now. He got shot in the heart. So Cass is out here with these guns wilding, man. This is a good brother right here. Yeah, do your history on this brother right here. He's a good brother. Other than that, that is some hip hop news. But I wanted to get to a song that was made, because sometimes we hear a lot of negative stuff. I wanted to get to a piece of a song we made by some youngsters that we work with at Black Man Lab, thing I do every Monday and Tuesday, and give y'all a little piece of that and give y'all something clean to walk away with, some good music. So let's get to it right here, right now. We Need You, Black Man Lab anthem. Let's get it.
The jail booth became a confessional, full of admitted sins, forgiveness, and answered prayers. In the midst of his ramblings about how and why he could do better, I heard myself mumble, "Brother, we need you."
I use my color to be hopeful for change, cause if I alter, altercations might just go through a change as well, cause time will tell about the scale of worth, cause earth is so for really. Pride only constitute the wealth that's helping approach my ceiling, feeling the strain inside the very veins that I bleed through, while searching through pain and sinking, thinking, people, we need you.
We need you. We need you. We need you. We need you.
Everybody come along and join the party. Only reason we can walk is cause our elders started. If you with it, then come with it, cause we dropping knowledge. Make our mamas and our babas proud with what they taught us.
So there you go right there, a little bit of hip hop for y'all news today right here in the Remix Morning Show. That is We Need You, Black Man Lab. Go check that out. All right, now let's get back to our morning host.
Hey, man, I didn't even know that. I had no idea that Shaka Zulu, who is the son of Ahmed Obafemi, who is just passed away earlier this year, who was a long-time revolutionary. Actually was part of the organization I was in, Malcolm X Grassroots Movement, New African People's Organization. His son has been around that movement for years. It's good to know that he is alive, but to hear that news is like shocking, because he's the manager of Ludacris. His other brother's been involved and managed. His other brother was the manager for a while of Brand Nubians, I believe. So that is shocking news. I wish him and his family all the best.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's just kind of shocking news. I did not know that.
He's also, I want to point out, because you definitely pointed out Ahmed Obafemi, rising power to him, but he's also the son of one of the hardest revolutionaries to walk, who happens to be a woman, who is one of the reasons why I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now. That is our ancestor Ia Fulani Sunni Ali. Fulani Sunni Ali was definitely the most revolutionary sisters I ran across. One of the most gangster revolutionaries I ran across, period. He's also the stepson of Bilal Sunni Ali, who's also been on the platform as well. So we definitely want to send our energies and strength to Shaka and to his whole family. Of course, we've had his sister on as well on the morning show a while back, but definitely we want him to get well and strength up.
Crazy.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, that's your hip hop news for the day. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.
All right.
No doubt. We have a guest. Yeah, we have a guest coming up, because I think that we've been talking about the issue of abortion. That's been the hot topic right now, the whole Roe versus Wade situation. We have a mayor here in Georgia, a South Fulton mayor, who is sponsoring a resolution to decriminalize abortions in his particular area. So we're going to have on Mayor Khalid come out in a few seconds, and he's going to talk about what's going on in South Fulton and what are some plans that him and his crew has to slow down that process here in Georgia. Anyway, checking out the Remix Morning Show. Peace, what's happening? Peace, how's everything going? Mayor Khalid, what's good, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Glad to have you on board. Last minute, reached out to you this morning and you made yourself available. So we definitely want to welcome you to Black Power Media. Appreciate the work you're doing out in South Fulton.
No problem.
So for folks who are unfamiliar, first of all, before we get into the main reason we brought you here, for folks who are not familiar with you or South Fulton, can you give us a little background of who you are and how you ended up getting into politics? Because we know you before electoral politics. So can you give us a little background?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, let's start with the city of South Fulton. First and foremost, we are Atlanta's new twin city. If you've ever been to Atlanta, if you haven't been to Atlanta, but you listen to hip hop, the SWATs, Outkast talks about it, Goody Mob, all those folks. So it's the southwest section of Metro Atlanta. If you're in the Atlanta area, if you're driving around 285, it's from Cascade all the way around to Old National, going outside the perimeter, OTP. We are the same size as Atlanta, and with a population that is 92% African American, we are the blackest big city in America. We're 100 square miles, 100,000 people, $100 million budget. And I got involved. Well, I've been in politics all my life. I come from a political family, but I really tried to escape it. I was trying to do music and this other stuff. I got pulled in first as a union organizer. I had a good job with a bus with a MARTA, which is the city bus company here, and they outsourced. Hundreds of workers lost their health care, their benefits, their pension. So I started organizing with them, got involved with Bernie Sanders, who was also trying to, organize workers. And then in 2015, Mike Brown was murdered in Ferguson, and I helped organize the Atlanta chapter of the Movement for Black Lives, and was out in the streets doing that for several years. And I just noticed that everyone that we were protesting, the targets of our protests were always elected officials, were always politicians, because we were trying to change these policies. And I was like, let's stop protesting and go take their seats. So that's what I did. I became a councilman in 2017. And in 2021, last year, I became the first socialist mayor of a major city in about 50 years. And that's me. That's how I got here.
No doubt. Now you're not, because you talk about the whole politics and the political, your political history going back to family, right? But you're not an average politician. One of the things you did that was thought of as wild, for lack of better words, for a sitting mayor to do, is you actually moved into a low income community, into what some would consider a low income project, right? And tell us about that. How did that come about, and what's it looking like right now?
Well, I don't. I call myself an elected activist. I come out of activists and movements. One of the things that we learn in the Movement for Black Lives, studying the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, right, is that there's a difference between mobilizing and organizing. Mobilizing is the protest. Mobilizing is the show, getting thousands of people to show up, right, for this mass action. But organizing is the years-long work of embedding yourself in communities and encouraging the people who live there that they don't have to live the way that they're living. And if they just organize themselves, if we organize ourselves, another world is possible. So I was really just taking a page. Cory Booker did it in Newark. King did it when he moved to Chicago. Like, this is moving into communities that you're trying to organize is just, there's a long, rich tradition in that. And when I ran for mayor, my slogan for mayor was Black, period, on purpose, period. I felt that the Blackest city in America should be Black on purpose, not just in its demographics, but in its actual policies. Like, we should be pushing policies that improve the lives of Black people. If we can't do that here, we can't do it anywhere. And if we can do it here, if we can write policies that improve the material conditions of Black people, then a rising tide will lift all boats, right? Because African Americans are at the bottom of so many metrics of success in America, from home ownership, access to capital, educational and technology disparities. So if we can create policies that improve our lives, then everyone's lives around us are improved as well. So that was the Camelot it's on Old National. I was born and raised in Old National. Camelot is the trap. I moved to the trap, and I'm organizing people there to take power back from just a bunch of slumlords that have been having people live in moldy apartments. There's black mold, there's fire hazards, There's all these sorts of things that are going on, and it's been a fight because there are hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly millions of dollars of repairs that need to be made. And if we acknowledge that for decades, the people living in these communities cannot make the repairs and that the slumlords are not making the repairs, we as a city have to take action. It is our duty to ensure that people are living in buildings that are safe, structurally sound, and sanitary. And if the market won't correct it, if the slumlords won't correct it, then we as a city have to correct it. And so trying to get council to accept responsibility for the decades of neglect of previous governments is an expensive proposition. And to do that with the poorest residents of a city isn't always a political priority for everyone. So it's been a fight just making sure that it is the priority that it should be. And that's why I continue to live there today.
No doubt. So how has the people accepted you, and also has there been any changes since you are a sitting mayor? Has the Camelot said, you know what, man, we gotta get it together because we're going to be under the spotlight. It might be some scrutiny, so on and so forth. I mean, has there been any changes, and what's it looking like?
There's been some tinkering around the edges, but to be honest, it's actually been getting worse. I will say that as a mayor, I won with 60% of the vote in every district across the city. So the wealthiest folks in the city, the poorest folks in the city, old folks, young folks, across all demographics. So the people are with me because I'm with them. I am pushing a people's agenda and fixing blighted property, which improves property values for everyone and stabilizes communities and reduces crime. The people are on board with that agenda, but there are some powerful forces, right? There are people there are slumlords that have been making money off of Camelot for decades, and the city has not had to take financial accountability, turning a blind eye. And so there are some very powerful forces that are opposing this people's agenda to get people what they need. But I am happy to say that the grassroots are still committed and still present and still following through. So New Era, that organization, they are having a national convening here in South Fulton, July 4th weekend. They're getting together with a local group, the Street Groomers, and some other community organizers. And so we're going to be in Camelot providing food, providing resources, providing gift cards and toys for kids, and just letting people know what's going on. So where the city hasn't properly stepped in, community is stepping up.
No doubt. So you recently hit the news along with everybody know what's going on with Roe versus Wade, and I caught a piece where they said that the South Fulton mayor was sponsoring a resolution to decriminalize abortion. Tell us, what does that mean? What does that look like? And you're talking about decriminalizing abortion as a mayor. What does that mean?
So I think, in the wake of that decision, which, I heard you guys talking about it earlier, doesn't just affect women, right? It affects the LGBT community. And they're not just talking about abortion. States are already writing legislation to criminalize birth control, IUDs, all of these things that allow women to have agency over their bodies. And not just for women to have agencies over their bodies, but this is also an economic issue. Working class women are 5 times more likely to have an unplanned pregnancy. And unplanned pregnancies are one of the things that can be the most destabilizing economically to a family, right? Unplanned pregnancies are what keep Black and brown women trapped in cycles of poverty. So being able to control when you're having children and making sure that you can finance the children that you're having, because we do live in this red state where we refuse to expand Obamacare, where we don't have universal health care, where we don't have a living wage. The minimum wage in Georgia is actually $5.15 an hour. And so where we don't have all of these structures in place to really support a culture of life, it's important for women to be able to have agencies over their bodies. So in this moment, I think people at all levels of government were just trying to figure out what we could do. And I spoke to some brilliant women in the reproductive justice space. Liliana Bakhtiari is a councilwoman in Atlanta. She came up with this legislation. And basically what we said was that, Roe v. Wade being overturned and even states passing these laws criminalizing abortion is one thing, but the people who will actually execute and uphold the laws are local police departments. And those departments are regulated by your city governments and your county governments. And that's why, even though it's the least reported, it is the lowest voter turnout, people got to really wake up to the fact that your local government is the government that has the greatest control or is closest to your daily life. Who decides what housing is affordable, what affordable housing means, what that financial definition is. That's decided at the city and county level. Who decides whether police can come in with a no-knock warrant and shoot you in your sleep the way they did Breonna Taylor? That's not decided in Congress or the White House. That's decided by your county commission and your city council, who approve the police manuals and the SOPs for your local police departments. We got rid of no-knock warrants in the city of South Fulton. We decriminalized marijuana for less than an ounce. So, and in the city of South Fulton, it's a civil penalty. So even if you get a ticket for that, you don't have to, on a job application, say that you have, a criminal arrest or a criminal ticket for that. And when it comes to people arresting folks who are either receiving or providing abortion health care, that's going to be your local police. So this ordinance that I sponsored, that again was really copied from Liliana Bakhtiari in Atlanta, and it's making its way around a lot of progressive cities, says that in the same way that progressive cities have deprioritized calling ICE and doing immigration checks, and in the same way that we've made cannabis the lowest possible priority, we're going to do that same thing for abortions. And it goes a step further to say that we won't spend any of our city money, including any police monies, to investigate or surveil or keep records of people who are seeking, asking, or providing abortion care.
Okay. That is, I suppose that's a start, right? On the question of policy, right? Because you would have folks would argue, they say, okay, boom, that's a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, and for me, I'm saying, okay, I'm glad that you're taking those steps, because there are areas that will prosecute. There are politicians that will go hard, and they will look to uphold the law as much as possible. Are there any immediate or future policy changes that you can give us? You know what I mean? To give us more of a broader idea as to the steps. How do you plan on moving forward? What are some things you're looking to offer the city of South Fulton that can be modeled across the board?
Right. Another thing that we're looking at is providing. We've seen a lot of companies say, right, that they are going to allow people to travel out of state or pay for travel out of state. So I've engaged our human resources department to see if that's something that we can do for our city employees. But again, these are small things, right? So let's talk about what we can do on the state level and on a national level. That we have elections that are happening all around the country, and you gotta. It's not a. I've been listening to the show, so I know that your viewers know it's not enough to just elect someone who's a Democrat. It's not enough to just elect someone who's Black, because all kinfolk ain't kinfolk. You got to really dig into these people's histories and ask, what are your policy positions on these issues? We just had a primary election in Georgia, and like many people, you go to vote, you know who you want for governor, you know who you want for lieutenant governor, but you get down to like, what's a public service commissioner? And like, there are all of these judges. We live in a state where we elect judges. So we had a whole page of, municipal court judges and superior court, which are county court judges. It's hard to find information on them. A lot of people left those answers blank. Well, the people who were on the Supreme Court now, they started their career down ballot in these positions. And because we weren't paying attention, that is how they worked their way up. We still do have here in Georgia a governor's race, and I can't think of a more important time to elect a governor with a uterus here in Georgia, and that would be Stacey Abrams, who grew up a poor Black woman in the rural South, which is a part of the global South, right? The issues of the global South are happening in the Southern United States. So we need to be electing leaders who come out of that and have an ethos about uplifting people who are in those situations. And then lastly, I will say, most of the work that is done in this country, most of I can't find my words now, the essential work, right? These essential workers, these essential services, these service workers, most of them are being done by women. So I'm not sure that women should not just get together and form a general strike. And if 25% of the women in this country got together and said, we're not going to go to work until these laws change, they could shut America down. So those are some non-political ways that we could begin organizing.
Right on. Hey man, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I hit you up right before the show started. I know that you have work to do. We appreciate the work that you've done. Of course, knowing you from your activism work, you expect that, being in office and being a politician to be held to the fire, but we definitely appreciate, your efforts and your energies. And, we're looking to see, what the future holds, you know what I mean? Because it's so much, for a lack of better words, shit on the table right now. You know what I mean? And it has
absolutely,
it has to be turned into fertilizer or get gotten up out of here. So definitely I appreciate you coming on board, and we're looking forward to rapping with you in the future.
Absolutely. I encourage people to follow me at Khalid Cares USA, but follow your local politicians wherever you are watching this show. There is someone that is trying to make change at the local level, and if not, then you need to run for office and be that change. A lot of these elections are decided by a few hundred votes. So you can really get in there and make a real material difference in the conditions on the ground for your people.
No doubt. We appreciate you coming on, Mayor Khalid. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you in a few ticks.
No problem. South Fulton forever.
Yes, indeed. Well done. Always appreciate when I'm shamed by a better activist. I always appreciate it. I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
What was that? Shamed by better activist?
Specifically, and I've shouted Kamau out for this privately, but I specifically people who are willing to relocate and move and position themselves geographically in terms of class, et cetera, and so forth, who take certain positions. But that in particular is something that I find to be impressive as a standard.
Right. I mean, I know the area where he is, and it's definitely the hood. It's not for play. And I salute a cat that that is a sitting politician and lives in this place without security and all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's one thing for you to move in and say, okay, boom, I have a couple details outside to make sure folks don't, whatever. But I definitely, because I think that oftentimes it's one thing for us to be comfortable behind these screens, and it's a whole nother thing when you walk outside, you have to face the music. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different. So I don't totally agree with any politician, but I try to meet folks where they at. I appreciate them coming on, because here it is. We have a particular platform that is unpopular with politicians. I should note that I invited Mayor Andre Dickens on, who I know, right before his election, and he made a promise that he would come on. We haven't seen him yet, so hopefully, we'll have him on soon as well.
Yeah, I also should say, we worked with. I'm sorry. I know Khalid also. We, behind the scenes with Jared and some other folks we've had prior to his election when he was a city council person. We had some conversations about trying to form kind of a national grouping to work on the issue of radicalizing the elected officials area, in terms of these are the things that you have to represent and have to stand for in order to get sort of the backing of a group that we were trying to put together. But I put a lot of the blame on myself that we didn't follow through and complete it to the point where we wanted to. We had Charles Barron involved and some other folks involved, and that still may be on the table. And we as community movement just haven't been able to work that closely with Khalid just because of the geographic and all that kind of stuff. So there's things about Khalid I appreciate. And I think as Khalid also knows, there's differences in some politics around socialism and how deeply we go into socialism and what even is his particular role and how he should be pushed. And so I will say I appreciate the chat, because the chat did some good pushing on what happens in that when you are in that office, right? You're in that office. You may fall back on maybe not even purposefully on some resolutions and so forth, but obviously there's far more power in that space than that, and you have to get in some trouble. So a resolution saying that you won't do something is fine, but there's the state that's going to do something, and are you going to meet the challenge of, are we going as far as saying that they're going to support the opening of a clinic that provides those services, and do sit-ins or support that kind of thing. I mean, those are the real challenges that may or may not be ready to take on the response to that, because the state resolution is one thing, but those are the things that could be done with housing and land. And again, I blame myself in terms of individually not reaching out more to Khalid to even, as he's sometimes even asked for, just for conversations and suggestions and so forth. But we will see if we can meet those challenges. But I again appreciate him coming on also to talk about stuff.
Definitely appreciate you coming. Go ahead, Jackie. No, I mean, I'm sure you were going to say the same thing similar things. I mean, I appreciate him coming on and being transparent and even the policies that he's advocating for. But on one hand, it is good that he wants to try to make accommodations for the residents of his city and those who work for his government who may be in need of abortion services in the future. But, you know, when you say we got to vote for Stacey Abrams, you know, and in the light of what she just tweeted a couple of days ago, talking about how law enforcement in the state of Georgia does not even make a living wage, which is demonstrably false, which is very false. And I know that makes it difficult for us people who want change to understand that the alternative to Stacey Abrams is who? Herschel Walker. So I understand why Georgians and Black Georgians in particular may go to the polls for her, but these are the sticking points on some policies that I can't get behind. Like I can't get behind any politician that's talking about more funding for the police and the police. We need to support police. And here's my ideas for police accountability. And I'm not dissing Bruv at all, but I'm just saying those are the contradictions that I see that we still continue to face when it's about.
Did he say that today?
Yes,
oh,
that's
my bad. I blacked out. I must have blacked
out.
I
think she's talking about what Stacey Abrams has said.
I'm talking about what Stacey Abrams said.
Oh,
comparing what happened in terms of the Democratic.
Hey, Jared, what kind of man do you think I am? You think that?
I just wasn't sure. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt Kim.
I mean, but I'm sure Mayor Khalid knows this. I mean, her positions on policing are not quiet. You know, she ain't. It ain't a secret that she wants to fund the police more in the state of Georgia, which apparently is the Democratic talking point and policy position. So, I mean, how I am not a Georgian. This is for Kalanji and Kamau and everyone who lives in Georgia about what decisions they're going to make politically at the ballot box for this gubernatorial office. But Jesus, these are our options. These are options. Herschel Walker or fund the police. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, Herschel Walker's not running for governor. But
my bad, you right.
He's just running his mouth.
He's running for Senate.
He definitely running his
Raphael
mouth.
Warnock. I mean,
running his mouth. Oh, right.
Yeah.
But I say this though, as a resident of Georgia, my position for station identification, I represent the FTP movement, and that's fuck the police all day,
all day.
No matter what kind of badge you got, man, woman, child, officer friendly, security officers, correctional officers, all that shit. So let's be clear about that. And no, I don't. And you know, to brother's point in regards to you know, us needing a governor with a uterus. You know, I don't. That ain't really my thing. I'm saying whoever's going to represent
will do.
Yeah, no, not all uteruses matter. I'm not about to just unite with some shit just because it's the flavor of the month. I think that, you know, I'm against electoral politics as a whole, especially on the state level. I could rock with the local level because we already know that all politics are local. But I can't imagine supporting anyone that is talking about either funding the police, paying them more, any of that type of stuff. Now, if you're talking about moving the police into the communities that they serve, if you're talking about decentralization, or you're talking about community control of public safety, then we can talk. But if you're talking about anything else in regards to putting it out, then that's it's not happening.
These are bad jokes.
Real quick.
That's
trifling. I don't like nothing with officer next to Kalanji. So you come up with
I think the question is what about they're asking you, Kalanji, what about those of us who have been deemed petty officers? Because they're talking about me. So like, you know,
I got confused for a second.
I think Jackie wanted to jump in.
Yeah, go ahead and give me that.
No, I mean, I appreciate that on the local level, he is, he seems to have a people focused platform, and he is using the power that he has as the mayor to implement some of those policies for folks and provide, you know, a direct impact for them, which is good in light of what the Supreme Court has just done. I think that when we are talking about, I mean, if you call yourself a socialist and you're comparing things that you are doing or want to do to Cory Booker and Stacey Abrams, That's like, those are weird references for, yes, Cory Booker did move into a housing project in Newark, but it was a publicity stunt, and we all see what Cory Booker
he didn't
did.
stay. Let's be
Yeah,
clear.
he didn't stay. It was like, hey, look, I'm for the people, and all this kind of stuff, and it was complete publicity stunt.
That's why he made sure to say, "I stayed." I heard that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think
I'm
like
still there.
Yeah, but like for those of us who have done this really really hard work of divorcing ourselves from capitalism, from neoliberalism, and understanding colonialism and imperialism and all of these kinds of things, those kinds of things do like raise alarms in people, like, why are those folks your references? And I understand that for folks who are still voting, that the choice they have for between someone like Stacey Abrams and whichever Republican it is that she's running
It's
against
Kemp.
for Georgia.
Is it Kemp?
It's Kemp.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Kemp.
Kemp is the sitting governor, is running for re-election.
Yeah. I mean, so I understand that people are concerned about, what choice do we have, but that's lesser evilism. That is what it is. And that is how we stay trapped in this Republican or Democrat, this party or that party. This is all we have, so we have to vote for one. Let's vote for the one who's only gonna, stab us 3 days a week as opposed to 5, kind of thing. And this is not me saying that people should sit out an election if that's what this is what I would do. But I understand that everybody is not there, but we will never get past that lesser evilism, binary election. This is all these are the only choices we have kind of situation if we never raise those contradictions when they are presented. And every time they're presented, we have to raise those contradictions.
The one perk to having a Stacey Abrams as governor is that the contradictions will definitely be heightened. And and in my mind, in my opinion, I believe that we'll be moving closer towards revolution. And I say that because of the fact that we live in a very racist state of Georgia. They have enough militias, enough Republicans, and they're going to lose their goddamn mind if there's a black woman in office. In fact, Perdue had stated that Abrams would become governor over his dead body. He was the other candidate. So this is the mentality. Kemp is the same cat who was talking about rounding up the illegals. He had his shotgun, him and his son, and they had a real bus that was traveling through Georgia with words about illegal on it. I can't forget what it stated as a whole, but this is where we are. So that, in my mind, it'd be the plus because of the fact that we'll see that this is not post-racial America, but is a continuous cycle that must be broken. So that's the only good I see in a Stacey Abrams, because it's gonna piss off white folks, and she's not gonna do anything for us. Don't get it twisted. It's just the symbolism that they will be disgusted by.
Yeah,
by the way,
it's
just
going to be the
that
symbolism.
sorry,
Oh no, real quick, guys. Yeah, I mean, it'll be the similar symbolism of Obama, right? It's white people will go crazy. They'll call this person a socialist, which they will use to then try to get black folks and other folks strongly behind them. And so just this game that's again played every 4 years. And I'm sure there's going to be surfacely certain things that Stacey Abrams does that are good. I'm not saying that she won't do some things that aren't better than what Kemp would do, but it's nothing that's going to be radical in nature. It's nothing that's going to redistribute resources to people who need resources. It's going to ultimately cater and crater to the ideas and wishes of corporations and rich people in Georgia, and her own particular interest, maybe in even a higher office. Someone made a quick response about calling her President Abrams, because I'm sure she does have her own. So this is and again, everybody's right. This is the thing that we get trapped into around centering electoral politics so much, even when it comes to struggle, when it comes to organizing, how they get to dominate the arena, and then people chastise you for voting and or not voting is if these people are the ones who are really going to make change. We're really, whatever small changes they make, even the ones that we think are better than the evil ones who are currently in office or whatever it is, those changes don't lead to the radicalization of communities, Black communities, that may lead to, again, the false radicalization of white right wingers who see any Black folks as a threat to their quote unquote way of life. So I think that's, and I think Dev actually made a comment, and again, I know Khalid, and we've had some of these conversations about what socialism is, right? So I think he is more of a DSA, Democratic Socialist, Bernie Sanders type socialist. Well, actually, you know what? Bernie Sanders is probably a deeper socialist historically than what he is now. I think he knows better, but does things anyway. But I cannot say that for some other folks. But I think there's again, there's a positive about the idea that socialism gets to, some mayor in the United States openly calls themselves socialists. So I think there's things to take away from that. However, again, on the flip side, it's the idea of what that really means in practice and policy. And so, putting in policy or making radical decisions that impact how land use is done, what affordable housing means, challenging the state apparatus, is totally different from just recognizing yourself as someone who says you ostensibly believe in redistribution politics, but it's the practice of it that will really bring out whether or not you're a socialist or not, in terms of like a deep dive, right?
I gotta qualify my previous praise about the activism. I got caught up on the moving part, and some of this nuance I must have blacked out on. I don't know where I was during this interview, but two quick points. One, when Kalonji, you bring up this piece about the roving attempt to capture illegals. Having gotten a glimpse from the other side of that perspective, I just wanted to say that is a tremendous mass psychological terror put on even those who are technically documented or quote unquote legal. The stress on them as individuals and extended family members is tremendous. It's done intentionally, even when they know they're not actually going to grab anybody physically, although often they do. It's just the mass terror imposed. And it bothers me when, even as those communities are full of their anti-Blackness, when we get caught up in being pitted against them, when most of them have no interest in leaving their homes and their communities and competing against other poor people to survive. They're just forced to do that. The other thing very quickly is that this is my ultimate concern. If socialism is going to be popularly redefined as we have to support Stacey Abrams and we have to support whatever the hell else you all were talking about, then this is why I was saying that Bernie and all of them are net negatives for the advancement of socialist politics. Because anyway, I'll just leave it there. That was
I want to real quick just say too, before we go any further, Rise and Power Bruce Dixon today marks his 3rd year since he made his transition. I had highlighted what Ricky said, because it just reminded me that today is the anniversary of his death 3 years ago today. So I want to say we remember Bruce Dixon for his work. The other thing, to your point, Jared, in regards to the symbolism of the whole rounding up the illegals, we have to keep in mind that this is we live in a society of sheep, and they're easily led in whatever direction necessary by the wolves. And we know, like in places like Georgia, you have a whole bunch of ass backward, redneck, racist, Confederate crackers here that will take that shit to the hilt. They'll take it and they'll say, "Listen, man, this is if the governor's saying round up these illegals, then it breeds conditions for folks like those crackers that murdered what's my man name down in
Ahmaud Arbery.
Ahmaud Arbery. You know what I'm saying? So it gives them that courage and that muscle to say, you know what, that's right, we're gonna get these cats. Because if they're talking about Mexicans or any other Haitians or any other quote unquote illegals, you know, you better be known for damn sure that we are included in that mix. It's not like, you know, we're not talking about you niggas, we talking about these niggas over here. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be clear that regardless of whatever these other folks are talking about, because we get caught up in, well, there's a lot of racist folks in those communities. There's a lot of racist folks in all communities. But the fact is, we have to decide what side of the barricades we're going to be on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying our enemy's enemy is our friend, but I'm saying be clear about who your enemy is and why someone should be an enemy and someone should be a quote unquote ally.
And that's, to me, that's what makes it so hard about, you know, our state of electoral politics, because somebody in the chat said it properly. You know, should Stacey Abrams be elected to be governor of Georgia, she is probably going to expand Medicaid. She's probably going to do something about the death penalty. These are very important policies that affect our community. But when it comes to policing, that's just something I can't seem to shake. I can't let that go. I can't move past. I can't look past that issue when law enforcement in Georgia is undoubtedly going to murder a Black person in cold blood, and people are going to take to the streets. And should Stacey Abrams be elected governor, she's going to get on television and call people thugs and say that you need to go home and that police will be held accountable. All this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, what things are we willing to compromise on? You know what I mean? And I understand compromise has to be had. No one's going to be an infallible candidate. But when it comes to policing, and you have somebody who's running for governor outright lying, number one, about what the police receive, saying that the police don't receive enough. Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, these are questions I have for y'all as organizers, because what things are we willing to say, okay, she's good on these 3 issues, but terrible on these other 3 issues.
Forgiveness is...
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, because you mentioned the issue, and I just have to share, if there's ever a moment to praise an increase in police training.
Shout out to LA.
Woo! In a training to deal with mass protest and riots, a police officer was killed by his fellow police officers who beat him to death in a training.
Beat him to death.
Beat him to death.
And a white officer at that.
Please,
just to be clear, Houston Tipping is his name. Hundreds gathered under a beating morning sun. Oh wow, who chose to write that? What editorial decision was that? Wow.
Ooh.
Nice. To remember LAPD, we need to look up Libor Janey, the author of this piece. That might be, they might be an ally. To remember LAPD Officer Houston Tipping, a 5-year department veteran who suffered a fatal spinal injury during a training exercise at the Elysian Park Academy on May 26. He died 3 days later at age 32.
Damn.
Let's see. Ranging from relatives, Tipping's father Richard told mourners that Houston was naturally kind. That she faced it. Wait, where are the details on the? Because it
was a woman officer.
No. Wait.
I thought you said she was kind.
I did, didn't I? Wait a minute. Wait, no. He generally cared about people, so I must have misspoke. Tipping's father, Richard Mourner, Houston, was naturally kind. He generally cared about people. Because I did look up his picture, which was not in this article, and maybe that's where I read some of those other details. Because there was revealed little. Officials have revealed little about the circumstances leading to Tipping's death after a training scenario during which he was grappling with a fellow officer when he fell to the ground and suffered a catastrophic injury to his spinal cord. But there was, wait a minute, maybe it was in the other one I read. Maybe I'll pull that up in a second. Willingness to go the extra mile.
When you do clownery, when you out here like a fucking clown with tens of thousands of gears strapped to your body, and you training on how to beat up peaceful protesters, and you get your ass whooped, and they fuck you up to the point where your spine is severed and you die
in training. In training. It's supposed to be a practice run.
Won't he do it?
Yeah.
Won't he do it?
But you know,
yeah, go ahead.
Rain curses upon your enemies. Rain curses upon your enemies, because God is watching and He is listening. He is listening. Keep them prayers up. Prayers down for the pigs. Prayers down for the pigs.
It's a battle of Algiers Day, people. It's a battle of Algiers Day. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, because that's what I was saying. I can't find the other story I found earlier, but this is what I'm saying about the language being used to describe what happened. We just read that in the LA Times, it was described as a grappling incident with one other officer. Here it's described as beaten to death during brutal training exercise. This is a picture of the officer. And tipping was repeatedly struck in the head severely enough that he bled. See, that part I didn't see right, because they were during a exercise meant to simulate a mob attack. He was beaten to death. That was the version that I was more responding to. So then they get to the part about the catastrophic spinal injury, which led to his death. Multiple injuries on his body also required stitches. The department said. Then they get to the grappling with another officer, a horrible accident. But they, but
so they beat him and choked him out. Grappling, they choked him out and beat him.
Yeah.
Grappling. I mean,
grappling is more of a wrestling joint, right?
But they set this training exercise up to simulate what we protesters do to police. That's what this was all about. This was a simulation of a mob attacking a police officer and a crazed radical leftist, a crazed Antifa grappling with the police. And that's why they beat
and what they ended up showing is what happens when the police,
is what happens when they actually,
So they should get an award then for best real life documentary.
I would think so. I think the officer who committed the beating offense is probably going to get a promotion.
Because it's like all through their training, that's part of their training when they talk about gang affiliation or going into certain neighborhoods or calling people suspects. All of that is meant to dehumanize people, to make it easier for them to do what they do. So that their training, when they get their training on how to respond, it's about how to take control, how to show they're in charge, how to stop people from talking back. All of that aggression is used as part of their training to, again, other people, so that they feel like they are justified in whatever actions they take. That's the training that they get on a everyday basis that they bring into our communities. To go back around to what Kim was talking about, the very people that Stacey Abrams is talking about wanting to give a raise to, all the people who are trained to brutalize our people. And that's what they continually will do, have done, and get trained to do.
Yeah, I have to run, y'all, but I just wanted to say real quick, as we're talking about electoral politics and what do we do, and when these politicians inevitably let us down, it doesn't matter who they are, it doesn't matter whether they're DSA or whatever it is, whatever, incremental or incidental good things they might do. That's why we have to continually expand political education. We have to encourage people in our homes and our jobs and our communities to join radical organizations so that they can learn where these politicians are coming up short, why they're coming up short, and why we should expect more, and what the more is that we should expect. Yeah, Stacey Abrams is going to probably expand Medicare. That's great. But shouldn't we want universal health care? Hell yeah. Yes, Stacey Abrams, if she's elected governor, might abolish the death penalty in Georgia. That's great. But if she's also going to give the cops more money, how is that helping? So these kinds this kind of information is best delivered to the people in organization so they can get the historical context, so they can understand how it impacts them in their everyday lives, and so they can honestly have the courage to fight for better, because you might know that you're getting shafted by a politician, but if you feel like you're out there all by yourself, you're always going to feel like, what's somebody like me? I'm just one person. What can I do? But if you're in an organization, then you feel like an army because you are one. So,
Jackie, before you leave, I need yours and everybody else's help, given your differing relationship to the spiritual world from my own. So very selfishly, my baby girl suffered a knee injury this weekend on the soccer field. And as we await the MRI results, hoping that it's just a sprain and not something worse, I want everybody involved to reach out to whomever, whatever forces you work with. Just as selfishly, I know we got bigger fish to fry, but let's just get the little. Can we just get this little knee?
There's no bigger fish to fry than the baby's knee.
Jared, for you, only for you, my brother. I will send you this cloth that I have blessed.
Lord have mercy. Bye.
Wait, I thought Jackie was about to lead us in prayer. I'm sitting here.
The shroud of Kalanji.
I have got to get on. I got a 10 o'clock interview.
I'll
lead
the people in prayer, Jackie. I'll handle
it. What will Kalanji do?
You're going to handle the prayer?
In Black Jesus' name, healing for the baby's knee. In Black Jesus' name. There you go.
No doubt.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
the meniscus. What's the other shit in the knee, Jared? The meniscus,
the ACL, the MCL, all the
MCL.
Is the other shit in the knee?
Other shit in the knee. I don't know.
Come on,
that's it. Cover all the shit. Fix all the shit.
Fix all the shit.
I'm about to join Jackie and get the hell out of here.
Kamau and Kalanji sounding like white folks. All the shit in the knee. Ha ha ha. What does that mean? Y'all know what the fuck I meant. God damn it.
Hey, listen, man.
Hey man, it was wild though, man. It's terrible, man, because I heard it. I heard the scream, and it was different.
Oh my God.
You could hear, like I could hear her call out, and it was just different. So I had to. I can't quite run these days, but I had to.
Did the old man run over to her?
That old man stride onto the field. It was like, God, man.
Somebody's like, damn, I wish you wouldn't came out here. Made it worse.
No, that was one moment she did. No, she did. It was a painful moment. So hopefully it is just but we got Jackie's Black Jesus blessings. So she should be good.
Right.
I will be sending the cloth as well.
She feels better. She'll get in the pool this summer. She will rehab. Her knee will be fine. We are already speaking healing and victory over this child's knee. She has already overcome this.
Praise
in Jesus' name. Like Jesus' name.
Now come out. That's what I'm saying. Me and you need to stay out and not mess up and interrupt the process. Now I'm trying to like
bunch of damn heathens.
I'm trying to move the heathen wall from blocking it.
Oh glory!
I'm gonna shut up.
And in the name of Shamalama Zumalama, this is the Remix Morning Show.
Oh man! Hey guys,
with the Ungawa.
The ear doctor is owing us one. He owes us a mix for tomorrow at minimum. So
your doctor said he had to go to camp this morning. He's in camp.
Hey, BPM is for the children. So
that's right.
What's up with our camp? Where's the BPM camp for the youths this summer? Where's the BPM summer camp?
We send them to the ear doctor, where they can learn all the different languages around the world.
They can learn pronunciation,
how to pronounce everything properly.
Yeah, shit. You be like, hey, we'll be doing commercials. My baby was an A student. I sent her to the ear doctor. She dropped out.
You got to repeat.
Third grade.
6th grade. Well, ear doctor's doing it for the boys. So where's for the girl children? Now y'all can send y'all girl children to me and
ear doctor,
like awesome.
See, there you go, Kim. Kim assuming the ear doctor is taking care of everybody. Everybody. Ear doctor for the kids, right? Kim was ready to protest. Like, hold on for the little girls.
Hey,
we're gonna send the girls to Kim's camp.
There's a lot of that. They
can learn how to roll doobies at Kim camp.
We gotta reach our boys. I guess the girls just gonna have to babysit like they supposed to do. Anyway,
shout out to the Siafu Youth Corps, boys and girls. Stop playing Kim. Stop doing us like that. Damn, sorry. Kim.
Look, we can here's we're gonna get out of here. Same time tomorrow morning, Remix Morning Show. Thanks everybody for joining us. And here's how we're gonna Camp Kim. This is how we're gonna get our ear doctor in as we get out this morning. He does owe us though. Catch you all.
Burn it down with Kim Brown tonight.
What time?
7 p.m. Burn It Down with Kim Brown tonight. We're going to go over Uvalde. We're going to get into the latest developments surrounding Brittany Griner. She's about to go on trial in Russia, for fuck's sake. So yes,
trial.
Her trial date has been set for Friday. They're trying to give Brittany Griner 10 years. 10 years.
What?
That's why we got a free Victor Boot. All Russia wants is Victor Boot. I say we give him Victor Boot in exchange for Brittany Griner. Sounds like a very fair
now I got to
trade.
root for Ukraine now. I got to switch now. Damn.
See, man,
there are no good guys.
Show. I'm out of here.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Catch you next time. Here's your ear doctor for the day.
Let me show these suckers how to ball out here. Oh man, let me get this together here. Oh, layup. Oh no. Shot. Oh, three. Oh, it's like Brick City out here. Mid-range. Oh my goodness, I can't buy a bucket out here. I missed the whole damn basket. Oh my goodness, what's going on, man? My game is looking trash. Oh, here we go. Black Power Media shirt. Now we cooking. Tree. I'm taking all three of y'all with these right here. Between the legs. Oh my goodness, behind the back. Layup. Oh, did he just do a reverse? He is in beast mode out here. I ain't gotta look, it's falling. Oh my goodness, this guy is going 3, 2, 1. Kobe. Nice. Black Power Media, baby. Nice. Empower yourself. Go get you some of that Black Power Media gear. Right here, blackpowermedia.org. Yeah.